Welcome to the next episode of the Dodge Brothers van rebuild by HenRefurb. Tonight, as the weather's nice, we're going to push the van out of the barn, tidy the place up and make room to take the body off the chassis at last. So stay tuned. Alright, all clean, tidied up, swept up, loads of room in here now, ready to do body off on that thing over there. So just for the time being, all the parts of the Dodge that are off so far are now hiding in the spray booth out the way where they're going to keep clean and safe. And now, as if by magic, I've shoved everything to one end and covered it up so we can still use the spray booth. Oh, hello Doris. Right, now I'm going to see if I can turn the thing round and push it back in. Right, so now I'm going to sort out all the rubbish in the cab and then we'll look at lifting it off. Check out that wood. Much better looking now. Want to have a look at this panel here, and I want to see if I can remove it from the rest of the body. I have a feeling this panel is the American panel that came with the chassis, and the back body is the English body that was put on by Dodge in England when it was built new in 1931. So theoretically that must be removable. So I'm going to have a look underneath and see if I can find a way. So the only thing I can see underneath is this L bracket here, which has a screw in it, and the same the other side. I can't see anything else underneath so far. Oh, there we go. So there's a screw there, and another one at that end as well. And then there's that L bracket on the passenger side as well that needs removing. Right, well here goes nothing. It's funny because all the screws, don't know if you can see these, there's not much left of them at all. All the ones that came out are in the English part. The ones screwed into the American part at the front, I can't get them out. I'm going to have to use the impact wrench. I've had to use this impact wrench to get a lot of the screws out of the body so far because they're so stuck. And as I'm underneath, I'm wearing eye protection because there's 90 years of rust and rotten wood that's going to fall in my eyes otherwise. No, they're not coming out. I think this piece of steel is rotten enough that I can break it off anyway. I'm going to have to make a new one. One plate and all the screws that go with it. Do the passenger side now. Right, I'll show you what I've done underneath and show you the mess I'm about. Look at that. All just rotten away. 90-year-old wood. That's going to take a bit of fixing. Okay, so I'm going to try and get you underneath so that you can see me attempt to get these screws out from the back of that wooden board. The first screw is this one here. Let's see if I can get that to come out. Looks pretty rusty. So I've basically given up on trying to get that off because I can't get to one of the screws without removing the body first, and I need to get in there with an impact wrench and the hammer, so I don't want to do any damage, so I'm going to leave it on until we take the body off, and then I'll probably just turn the body on its side and try it then. This plate above the rear wheel needs to come out because that's going to get in the way when we try and take the body off. We're not going to be able to put the body down on the floor because that's going to stick out underneath. So I'm going to try and take that off and then do the same on the other side as well. So those are done. And then we can do the actual lift once I've got some extra muscle available. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to take the wheel off to get at that. It also looks like I'm going to have to take those screws out with a mole grip because something has hit all the heads and they're all bent flat, so I can't get a screwdriver in the slot. So to get a wheel off this, you have to undo the 4 nuts around the outside, take the nuts off, take the little clamp plates off, and you have to push all the bolts out and try not to drop them, and then you have to take the valve cover off and the nut that holds the valve in position, and then it comes off just like that. One, two, three, four, 5 bolts go through to another plate behind and they're all seized. But the plate behind is just pinned on with little tacks. So I'm going to see if I can release the plate behind and then hopefully I can take both plates out stuck together. And that will solve the problem either way. So. There we go. Well, that was not very easy. Yeah, some bits are going to take some fiddling, make them flat again. But pretty much got that off without doing any damage, so that's good enough. So that's the woodwork. Looking pretty ropey along there. All sorts of nails and stuff stuck out all over the place, and yeah, it's going to take a bit of doing that, sort that out, especially that part there. And that's one of the supporting blocks for the actual body, which will explain why the back of the body sags quite a lot on the driver's side. So it'll be good to get that sorted out properly. It's a new evening tonight, chucking it down, freezing cold, unlike last night which was sunny, but I've got a few hours spare, so I'm going to try and remove these vertical posts. Both of these posts are detached from the bottom already, and at the top they're just held on with 2 screws, one there, one there. Hopefully those will come out with a bit of persuasion. Here goes nothing. Well, they didn't exactly undo, but it's off either way. Oh, that's 1 out of 4 so far. Now that was never going to come out. Okay, so the next thing is to take off this side panel. So to do that I'm going to have to remove this gutter rail, take all the beading off, and then see if the aluminium panel will remove itself without too much hassle. Well, that's the gutter out of the way. Next for the aluminium beading. Well, that's the first piece off. That was really difficult because it's covered in silicone sealant. And there's the second piece, again covered in silicone. There's the third piece off. So I was just removing a load of nails along the top edge. Hopefully It'll come off now. There we go, one side panel. And that gets us down to the next level, which we can then remove to expose all of the framework that the guy before us fitted. And there's the curved piece from over the wheel arch. These side panels, as you can tell, were all replaced by the previous owner, but those were the only bits he ever did of the restoration before he sold it on. What's interesting is this particular piece is an original part because it has some overspray on it in the original colour underneath it. And that's how we can tell which bits of the van are completely original and which bits aren't. And it is quite literally just the size of the van that have ever been tampered with. So for everything else, I'm the first person to take any of these screws out. I'm going to try and insert the back edge of a saw blade to try and release some of this silicone from behind this panel so it will come off. And there it is. Next question is whether that's going to come off. But I'm saving that for the next episode. If you've got any questions or suggestions, pop them in the comments section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, see you next time. And we will take the body off the chassis. Isn't that right, Doris?